All right. All right. I'll get started in just a second. All right. So it is. All right. It is Sunday, January 24th. And we're just going to have a little 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes maybe. And we're going to just walk through kind of what to expect. So, one of the first things that I'd really like to talk about is the new merchandising, right? So, you see me going back and forth. That's because I've got Instagram over here and YouTube as well. So, the merchandising. So, first, let me explain to you why. The why is one of the things that I've noticed in the industry of yachting is it's very limited as to what they have to offer in certain pockets and spaces. So whenever I'm working on my boat or whenever I'm just kind of hanging out, lazy days type thing, I'd like to wear something that's yachty, right? Or boaty. But there's not a lot of that out there. And the stuff that's out there is kind of corny, kind of cheesy. So you have to make some hard decisions. So that's kind of where I came from with that. What I have released so far is a couple of hoodies. There are a few t-shirts, a few classic style t-shirts, a few classic V style t-shirts. Everything is on the premium level. Majority of those are all cool cotton blend, and the rest are going to be a nylon cotton blend. You will be able to find those descriptions right below the products. There are a few neck gaiters, and there are a few coffee mugs, right? So I'm really excited about it. And what you can expect from that is about every 4 months, I'll release maybe 4 or 5 products. It won't be a whole lot. The name of the game is to produce, high quality items that you can really enjoy. So it's all stuff that whenever I'm out on the water or getting ready to go out on the water or having a conversation about being out on the water, these are all things that, people mention that they are interested in having or just forgot to bring or wish that they had. So, hey man, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. So, um, that's kind of where that's at. There's not a whole lot to that. It's just a little bit at a time. I do appreciate feedback. So if you don't mind, pop into the store. You can go to Instagram or you can go to the Facebook page, and that will take you to the actual storefront. And you can rifle through all the products that are there. And if you have anything that you'd like to mention or add, just let me know. Ah, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, Aqualux. So let me explain what that is. So a lot of times in my videos, you'll hear me say Aqualux and Aqualove, Aqualux, Aqualife. And basically what that is it's the love of luxury life. And then agua means obviously water. So it's love of luxury life on the water. Since I was a kid, small child, I have always been on the water. My grandmother always had boats. My grandfather always had boats. You know, at my heart, I'm an island boy. It's just something that's really ingrained in me. My family is a very outdoorsy family. You're either a fisherman or you're a huntsman, one or the other. And then some of us kind of do a little bit of both. I'm more of a fisherman, more of a sports kind of guy, water sports kind of guy. And aside from that, I am most certainly more of a luxury and leisure kind of guy. So that's where a lot of that comes from. And the more you see from the brand, the more that'll be evident. I have things like recipes that I want to share. I have, you know, different types of things to do. You don't have to have 100-foot boat to really enjoy the water or to have a luxurious day on the water. You could take a 13-foot John boat to a sandbar, have a picnic, and, you know, have one of the better days in life. You just don't have to have everything that people think you have to really enjoy the water. So that's where that comes from. What I do. I also have a lot of people that ask me questions about what I do. I get a lot of questions on YouTube, and I don't get as many questions on Instagram. I do get a lot of questions on Facebook, but on Facebook, those are mostly people that have, you know, actual access to me. So whenever they see me, or, you know, maybe they'll shoot me a text and ask me a question. Hey, what are you talking about? You know, what does all of that mean? So I am a yacht broker. I'm a licensed yacht broker in the state of Florida. And what that means is I broker deals with yachts. I sell yachts. There's a lot of technical terms and jargon that go in there, but none of that's important. Only thing that's important is I sell yachts. And a lot of people ask, you know, what the difference between the sizes of the boats, really means. And the truth of the matter is, it really doesn't mean anything. Merriam-Webster dictionary defines a yacht as any vessel that is, you know, made strictly for leisure, period. If it's a fishing boat or if it's a trawling boat, you know, to pull or push, it's not a yacht. If it's strictly for leisure, then it's a yacht. However, for licensing purposes in the state of Florida, anything 36 foot and larger is generally considered a yacht class vessel. Now that kind of the water gets murky on that, because you have companies like Riva, I think Ferretti, and a couple of other companies that produce smaller boats that are actually yacht class vessels. So if it has a yacht badge, it is in fact a yacht. So that's just a little small tip, but I kind of say that all the time to help people really understand. Many of you that know me know that I have 2 boats of my own, one of which I've been working on for forever. I've basically been teaching myself how to build that boat, how to rebuild that boat. One, because that's something I enjoy doing. I've always been the type of guy to take something apart and put it back together just so I can understand it better. It's something I do. I don't know why I do it. But in doing that, I've learned a great deal about inboard vessels. And I've kind of become a specialist on it. Get a lot of phone calls from other brokers on how, what, and when to do certain, you know, mechanical issues, take care of mechanical issues or explanations for their clients. On on the yacht broker side of things, it's pretty simple. It's really self-explanatory. I sell yachts, period. I'm either selling a yacht for you or selling a yacht to you, one or the other. So I'm either buying for you or selling for you. On the other side of that, I have taken a liking to creating content, right? So I've always been an adventure guy. this makes it a little easier. I really enjoy it, and it's something I most certainly want to share. There are a lot of you that live on the coast in various places in the state of Florida that kind of know what it is to stand on the dock or stand on dry land and watch these enormous boats go by. What are they doing? Where are they going? Who are they with? Why are they going there? When are they coming back? Those are fun questions to ask, but the real fun comes when you're the one that's on the boat and making those decisions about where you're going, with whom, and all of that jazz. And once again, it doesn't matter how big or small the boat is. All that matters is that you're on the boat and you're on the move, right? So those are kind of the two dynamics of what I do. I am very much interested in sharing this world with people. I like to talk, and I also like to teach. So what happens is you'll ask me a simple question, Tony, what's the name of that boat? And I'll tell you how to build it. It's just who I am. I'm working on that though, working on it. So that's kind of the whole gist of it. I'm on the water all day. Why not make cool content? And that's basically what I'm doing. On the other side of that, I have been making plans for a very long time to do some very awesome, in my mind, things on the water with running these boats. I'm there. I have, a couple hours of work on one boat, couple hours of work, couple being like, I don't know, days or a couple weeks worth of work. I was in the process of rebuilding the engines for my larger vessel, for my Tiara, when I was in a motorcycle accident, and I'm still healing from both that accident and a second accident that happened in between, to the point now where my health will allow me to kind of move around with my tools a lot more than I was. So later on this year, you'll see those things. I am going to do some small giveaways. There are some places that I really enjoy going, and some places I really enjoy being in the state of Florida. Places in St. Augustine, places in Stewart, places in Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete. I'll do some small package giveaways, and there will be a lot of events going on that I will tell you about in advance, and events that I'll be going to, and I'll be sharing those events with you as well. That's really all I'm doing is just hanging out on the water, but I'm giving you an opportunity to kind of join in from a distance. So those things are, how do you say that? Those things are coming, right? So right now it's a little cool. Right now is a good time for preparation for me to get things together and get them in order so we can go on some of these adventures and do some of these things. There are parties that happen twice a month on sandbars in, St. Pete that you can't get there if you don't have a boat, period. There are places in freshwater lakes and rivers here in the state that you can't get to unless you have a boat. And on the other side of that, where I am at now is Tampa Bay. So I've kind of always worked both coasts because I'm in the middle. And I've made the decision that now is the time for me to really focus in on one space. And that space is going to be the Tampa Bay area. And the reason I chose the Tampa Bay area is a couple reasons. Number one, I'm from Tampa Bay originally. Number two, Tampa has a very active boating community. I love active boating communities. One of the biggest boating pet peeves I have is to go into a boating community where there's all these gorgeous boats and there's all these amazing marinas and places to go and things to do, and you never see anybody out on the water. It's one of those places where they prefer to dock yacht rather than to actually run the boats. So you have tons of businesses that cater just to the boating community. And there's lots of places on the Hillsborough County River and lots of places in the Bay Area. And then, of course, St. Pete and all those places are happening and jumping when it comes to water. So those are all places that I would like to take you. And then there's some other places I want to take you, but I'm not going to mention them now. I'll mention them a little bit later. I will say this, my small vessel has a range of about 300 miles, and the larger vessel has a range of about 700 to 800 miles, if I remember correctly. I could be getting that mixed up. But that's a pretty good reach, and that can get you a good ways out. Because the truth of the matter is, you're not going to go in a straight shot. You're going to jump from landmass to landmass until you get where you're going. By all means, if anybody has any questions, feel free to type it down below, and I'll answer any questions that you have. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. So, as fact, the last few things that I have is basically the content. So I have not been very good with keeping up with content. I have tons of content. So I'll be giving you old content as well as new content. It'll get filtered in. There'll be lots of stuff in there. If there's ever any question, you can always simply leave a message and I will get back to you. I always answer messages. I always reach out. I may not reach out to you in the actual message. I may reach out to you by way of email. So speaking to that, one of the questions that I was asked not too long ago was about what to wear as a yacht broker. So it depends on where you are regionally. Everyone kind of does it a little bit differently. So most companies want you to wear something with, something to the idea of a polo shirt with the logo. And the reason for that is it's hot in most of the places where we are. You're standing outside on the dock all day. You can't be dressed to the nines in a suit and tie and all that jazz. You'll melt, right? Then you have other brokerages that get, fancy. They have a button down of some sort with their logo on it. And then you have places that really don't stipulate what they want you to wear, just as long as you have a name tag on. And the idea that you want to go for, if you are in fact a broker, is the idea of professionalism, right? So you want to be as professional as possible, and you want to take that into account. So if what you have on, if you feel like it's inappropriate, it probably is. I've asked a lot of brokers, and I've paid attention to a lot of brokers to kind of see what they wear, and everybody's got their own style, right? But you don't necessarily want to show up in, some flip-flops and shorts. It's probably not the look you're looking for. So if you showed up with some really nice, nice O'Neill style shorts with a nice pair of Sperry's on, I don't think anybody would eat your lunch, but you want to be really careful about what kind of I lost my words there. What kind of picture you paint for the client. I'll just leave it at that. There was another question about how much money yacht brokers make. Once again, it has everything to do with where you are regionally. It has everything to do with whether or not you actually hold a license. And it has a lot to do with what you're selling and who you're selling it for. So you have some companies that have a structured setup where you get paid based on a base salary, and then you get a portion of that sale. Then you have other companies where if you don't sell, you don't eat kind of deal. You have to make a sale to make money. So because there is that pressure of, performance, when you do perform well, you are compensated well. It's just the way it goes. I have heard of guys negotiating their rates, what they're paid with brokerages, but 9 times out of 10, those guys have been in the industry for 20 years or better, and they have a reputation for what they do, for being very good at what they do. So they can come in and they can kind of make those kind of demands. If you're fresh in, you probably don't want to talk too crazy. And then again, it also has to do with the vessels that you're selling. So if the boats that you're selling cap out at, $100,000 or $150,000, you're most likely not going to make, a whole lot off of one boat. If you're an excellent sales guy and volume, you could still kill it. So it all depends on who you're working for and what those rates look like. And that's about as far into that as I can go. Without having all of the information. So I hope I've answered everyone's questions. And I'll, for a moment, if anyone has any other questions that they'd like to pose, and any questions about content or any suggestions about content. As I said before, I will be in the Tampa Bay area, and there's lots of fun places to run around there. You can run from, you can really run from Tampa all the way down to the Keys, and there's plenty to do and plenty to see. Okay. Well, that looks like that's about all of the time that I have allotted for today. I will keep you posted on more events. I will keep you posted on more merchandise, and I will keep you posted on more yacht brokering, so to speak. I will love, I will lux, I will life. Find some water, get on it. All right.